Welcome to Hello Baltimore County. I'm your host, Ellen Kobler. Winter weather made a bit of an early appearance this year, and forecasts are for a weak El Nino with somewhat higher than average precipitation. Regardless of what Mother Nature dishes out, Baltimore County Bureau of Highways is prepared to respond. Here with the view from behind the plow is Anthony Russell. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Ellen.
So give us a little bit of the basics here. Baltimore County is a very large jurisdiction. How long does it normally take in a routine snowstorm for you to get out and do your first round of salting and plowing?
You need to look at about maybe 6 to 8 hours before we salt an entire route. And the county's made up of over 164 routes, which have 50 to 60 miles of road on each route. So we take in consideration 6 to 8 hours to salt one entire route and up to 24 to 48 hours to plow an entire route. That's in addition to the 6 to 8 hours. And that's a standard, what we say standard, a 6-inch snow.
Okay, so that's a sort of a regular snowstorm around here. And you handle the, not the state highways, which are mostly the numbered routes, but the other main roads, as well as every residential street, more or less, in Baltimore County.
We handle everything around your neighborhood, in the middle of your neighborhood, and then we start actually getting into the neighborhoods.
Gotcha.
That's generally the order. There's no preferred customers, so there's no secret list that we hear about.
Right. Now let's talk about a very major snowstorm. In that case, it's kind of a different story. You have to just keep the main roads open first, right?
We'll keep the main roads open first. That's generally for our first responders, so they can get in and out if you do need help.
Oh, okay, for police and fire.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. And then, so initially what I've seen is you'll kind of go and do as much as you can, a quick pass first to just establish access for people in a major
We'll make sure everything
storm.
Gets one coat of salt on it.
Okay.
Then what we'll do is we'll come into your neighborhood. You'll see us. We'll come in and out just to make a quick plow through. And once everything settles down, we'll be focusing on just the #1 roads, the main roads through your neighborhood and around your neighborhood. And then once we get those clear, we'll start into the neighborhoods and push them all the way back to the curb.
I guess that kind of makes common sense, because if you were to go first to the cul-de-sacs and the courts, then the people would drive to the main roads and they couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta get in to get you out.
That's right. So talk about, you know, the blizzards when everybody's running around and decimating their grocery store shelves, and it's the big deal. People on these smaller dead-end streets and cul-de-sacs, they just need to be prepared that it's going to be a while, right?
You just need to be prepared and be patient. We'll be there. If you have an emergency, of course, call 911.
Okay, how are we looking this year on salt supplies?
We're looking very good on salt. Baltimore County, any given time, carries over 90,000 tons of salt at 17 different locations throughout Baltimore County.
And that's a good bit more, I believe, than in previous years, previous decades. I mean, you've built additional salt barns around the county.
Yes, we've learned a lot of lessons on salt over the years.
Yeah, yeah. Talk to us a little bit about the technology. People want to know what's going on during a snowstorm, and you guys are on social media. You've got a new app. Tell us the information that you have available for people.
We put out tweets maybe every 2 hours to let you know what's going on, and, you know, somewhat of how the roads are, because the county's so vast. You can go from the east side to northwestern Baltimore County, have 1 inch of snow, and northern Baltimore County will have a foot of snow.
Yeah, I remember literally one time it was about 8 inches in Reisterstown and raining down on the peninsulas on the waterfront. Yeah, so people should go to Twitter at Baltco Emergency, and that's where they can get the every few hours updates and find out about the winter storm operations and the road conditions. Yes. Yeah, nice. And then you also, Baltimore County has a new smartphone app called Baltco Go. And what is that used for in terms of snowstorms?
That's the easiest way to report if your street hasn't been plowed, you haven't seen a salt truck. And when you do that, the only thing we do ask is we put the variables in there, 6 to 8 hours to salt.
Right.
The 24 to 48 hours to plow the entire route. So if you would give at least 24 hours before you start reporting that you haven't seen a plow, or a salt
Gotcha.
truck. Give us time to get there, and we'll be there.
Okay, yeah, I think nowadays people, with the technology, you know, they think there's like an easy button and all the roads can be just magically plowed at once, but every snowstorm's different. I mean, sometimes you've got icing conditions, sometimes you've got the snow coming, you know, an inch an hour. How do you keep up?
Like I said, we focus on getting salt down on everything to form a brine so the snow actually doesn't stick to the roadway. Then we go back on our #1 roads. We focus on those, the big roads around your neighborhood and through your neighborhood, to get those open. And then we start concentrating on the roads within your neighborhood and the cul-de-sacs and the dead ends.
Okay, and I know on the Storm Fighter website, you can just go to Storm Fighter at Baltimore County and /snow or Storm Fighter. There's multiple ways to get into it. And you can see, in addition to the Twitter feed, you can see a link to the state highways where they have the highway cameras to see actually what the conditions look like. How do you interact with the state roads? If it's like a county road that's coming in to a state road, how does it work with the intersections and all?
We go up to the state roads, and basically everybody works together. You know, we're not piling all the snow up into the intersection. Each of us, when they come by, they try to push it to the side, and we do the same when we come to their roadways.
All right, and talk a little bit about the training for snowplow drivers. It's not just a week ahead of the storm, right?
Once a year, we offer a class called the Snow Fighter College, and that's done through our safety and training folks.
Great, and that's where they learn how to maneuver the equipment and...
They learn the basics of, you know, the truck itself, you know, what they look for when they plow. You know, don't plow to the low side, plow to the, don't plow to the high side, plow to the low side for the drainage. And
oh, that makes sense. Okay, so as far as the crown of the road.
Yes.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about what the average person can do or not do to help you and your crews get the job done as soon as possible.
Stay off the road.
If
Stay
at all
at
possible,
home,
yeah.
If possible. If you got to be on the road, just be careful, go slow, and give us room to work.
All right, and how about when people are plowing their driveways? I know they have to be careful where to put the snow, right?
Just always, if you're looking at the roadway from your house, make sure you're always putting the snow on the right-hand side. Aha,
because the plow comes along and you don't want to put a big pile for them to put in front of your driveway.
Put it back in, in your driveway.
That makes sense. Of course, the plows, they have to push the snow.
You're going to get some snow.
You're going to get some in front of your driveway.
You're not going to get as much as you shoveled also, so.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so just to recap, in order for people to keep up with what's going on, especially during a major snowstorm, they just need to be prepared that it may take a while for you to get to them. And then they can go on Twitter at Baltco Emergency. And then if they're in a position where it's been more than 24 hours and they feel like they need to let you know about their situation, then they can download the Baltco Go app and be in direct communication with you. All right, well, good luck this winter season, and thank you for the job that you do.
Very good, thank you.
Sure. And thank you for watching Hello Baltimore County. Remember to connect with Baltimore County government on all of our social media platforms and to keep an eye on Twitter at Baltco Emergency for updates on winter storm operations.